All right, let's talk about the 44-year-old MVP, not just Canada at this point, but he's the betting favorite to win MVP, Tom Brady. Absolutely crazy stuff. I mean, and you look at the numbers, some people are going to bring up the 10 interceptions, but that's been very fluky. It kind of, interceptions aren't a great stat to determine how often a quarterback is actually putting the ball in harm's way. You look at his turnover-worthy play percentage from PFF, it's only 1.3, which is the lowest in the NFL and actually the second lowest of his entire career. He's actually protecting the ball as well as he ever has. It's just, he's gotten unfortunate bounces in certain games. That's, how that's gone. Also, his Pro Football Focus grade, I tweeted this out, is the fourth best of his career, which is insane that he's literally still in his prime at 44 years old. Absolutely crazy. I wanted to break down the game against Atlanta. I think there's some interesting stuff here. And, it's another one of those games that I think will encapsulate how just the Buccaneers offense has played. It's a lot of Tom Brady doing stuff well. It's a lot of the entire offense doing stuff well. It's looking like more and more like a well-oiled machine, which is what you want to see have happen. So let's get into the film. Let's talk about what they are doing so well. So let's start off with something like this. A lot of people kind of almost use these types of plays as like an insult against Tom Brady, but it's fascinating to me. So let's talk about the X's and O's of this play. What Atlanta is doing is running a cover 4 zone, also known as quarters coverage. What they're doing here is what really Tampa Bay had struggled with in that kind of, stretch where they weren't looking too promising. They had lost to the Saints and then the Washington football team, largely due to those two teams running a lot of two safety deep coverages, which makes pushing the ball down the field more difficult. So what Tampa Bay has done to counteract that is a lot of shorter passes over the middle, and they've really been successful with it these past couple of weeks, especially as they've gotten a little healthier and gotten kind of those, options outside of Godwin and Evans, being able to play a little bit more. What you're doing on this play is you're having a receiver on the top of the screen run a go route, and then you're going to have Fournette just run underneath. It's a simple zone buster, but this is why we've seen Leonard Fournette get so many pass attempts. In fact, it's why Tom Brady always seemingly hits his halfbacks so frequently, even back when he was in New England. Fun fact, Tom Brady used to play for the Patriots, and what he would do there is also, hit James White a bunch, right? And look at how quick Brady's going to, he, looks downfield for a second, but immediately says, okay, check down's open, I'm hitting the check down. Boom, you just picked up 15 yards right there. Like, you could sit here and say, oh, he didn't have to throw it that hard. It was an easy throw to make. But it's an easy throw to make because teams are so afraid of the deep stuff getting hit that now the underneath stuff opens up instead of doing the smart thing by taking that and hoping that teams will eventually start to take that away so you can actually hit shots over the top. I thought this play was awesome. What's going to happen here is it's going to be actually, a rollout where Brady weirdly has done this a bit, where they've had designed rollouts a little bit more this year. He's actually looked more mobile this year than he has last year, which I get. Listen, he's still not the most mobile guy, but at least he has looked a little bit more mobile. And what's going to happen here is you're going to have a rollout, and Leonard Fournette is going to just run to the offense's right. Worth mentioning, there is no other option on this play. This is simply either you throw it to Leonard Fournette or you throw the ball away. Those are the two options on this play. I guess, or Brady runs the ball himself, but that's probably not going to happen. So realistically, there's one option, and it's hit Leonard Fournette. However, right when this play begins, you're going to see this is just a hell of a read by Deion Jones right there, number 45. That's just an incredible read. You can't ask for much better than that. Great defensive play, picks it up. It is covering Leonard Fournette. And at this point, it seems like, okay, nothing is really going to be open here. If Brady does try to fit it through, honestly, it's too dangerous of a pass, right? He throws it. Jones could cut it off, get an interception, get a pick six. That's the last thing you want to have happen. So Brady should just throw it away is what I'm thinking. But Brady has other ideas. Look at this touch pass exactly to where only Fournette could make the catch. Deion Jones could not get there. That's an incredible play. Also, great catch from Leonard Fournette. Just really good stuff there by Brady. And I think that's kind of what I look for when I say, okay, what are you doing that a replacement level quarterback wouldn't do? Like the last play, you could make the argument a replacement level quarterback still makes that play. Now, I would kind of say, well, I don't know if that's open with a replacement level quarterback, but that's an argument you can make. But this is the definitive replacement level quarterbacks do not make these types of plays. Tom Brady does. Like this one's another one where it's just an incredible throw. The accuracy on Brady was remarkable. So it's going to be man coverage. It's a cover one man play, and you have Chris Godwin, who had a great game in this one. He has a one-on-one matchup. And listen, it almost feels like a lot of times the great receivers that Tampa Bay has is used to discredit Brady in a lot of ways. And of course, it helps to have great receivers, but it goes both ways. It also helps to have, Tom Brady throwing to those receivers. Because watch how once this play begins, you're going to see Godwin not wide open. There's no separation. I mean, literally, no separation whatsoever. There's contact being created right here. But watch where Brady's going to put this ball. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's just a perfect throw. That's legitimately exactly, name one thing about that throw that you could, nitpick. I mean, it's perfectly accurate, perfect amount of touch on it. There's no nitpick you can make on that one. That's just a perfect throw. And he had a number of those, which is, part of why Brady's still so effective even at 44 years old. Like this play, you're going to see him have some time because there was just a 3-man rush. And Brady's going to just, again, perfectly fire one to Gronkowski for a touchdown. You saw this one, which is similar to the Leonard Fournette one, just kind of exactly where only Cameron Brate could get it. No one else could. And also this one, this is not going to be a tough throw to make because the concept itself worked out well where they were able to scheme up. It was just a little zone buster against the type of coverage that Atlanta was in to allow Mike Evans to get wide open on this play. But Brady still hits him, so they're still able to just do stuff like that. Very impressive stuff. Okay, finally, let's talk about the interception because we can't just talk about the positives. We have to talk about the negatives, and it is kind of one of those things where when Brady has a great game but throws one interception, people pay attention to the interception instead of all the great stuff he did, which, listen, I'm sure you can find old videos of me doing that before Brady played for my favorite team, so, I understand it. Although, to me, this one was kind of more of a lottery play by Atlanta than it was just a horrible throw by Brady or anything. Worth mentioning, there's no reason Tampa Bay should be running a play here. I mean, there's currently 27 seconds on the game clock right here. You're not scoring points. I'll say one thing. If you do want to run a play, then okay, run a play. Then try to push the ball down the field. But this sort of half trying to do something, half not. A screen pass is not going to result realistically in you being able to put points up, but it could result in something bad happen. Just the risk isn't worth the reward here. However, the reason this play is going to work is Atlanta kind of knows, okay, maybe a running play is coming, but they're fine with that. So they're scheming up to try and, get some pressure against Tom Brady. And what they're doing is they're running what you call a twist or a stunt, whatever you want to call it, where the edge rusher is going to run into left tackle Donovan Smith. You then have a defensive tackle kind of swing over, and he's the guy who's going to try to, get past the tackle and get pressure on Brady. Meanwhile, it's going to be a screen pass with Leonard Fournette running in that direction. So you kind of see how their paths are just going to kind of intersect just by coincidence. I mean, look at how right when this play begins. So one thing I do have to say is, Marlon Davidson, that is number 90, the defensive tackle who I've circled in yellow here, he does a great read on this play, where he's just running the play traditionally, but he looks up and he does notice the screen pass. So he deserves a lot of credit for picking that up. Obviously, him happening to already be in the area just, made things a lot easier for Atlanta, because for Brady, typically when you wouldn't want to throw this play is if a linebacker runs over to blow up this play, or if the edge rusher notices it and runs over to blow up this play. If there wasn't a stunt here, the chances of a defensive tackle getting over here this quickly are essentially zero. So maybe Brady could have noticed it. It's tough. You look at the angle, and there's there's an offensive tackle who's currently right in front of the defensive tackle, so Brady can't really see it over there.Maybe you could argue, hey, if you're going to win MVP, you got to notice this stuff. But this, to me, is it's an understandable error that the Buccaneers are going to make, and it's a great defensive play. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. Look, Davidson is going to make the interception, get the pick six. To me, that's more fluky than anything, and I think it kind of goes on the coaching staff of, hey, just don't run that play to begin with. But if you want to blame Brady, you can. I'm sure some people will, but that's how I saw it. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's crazy stuff with Brady. It's crazy stuff with this offense, and they're still not fully healthy. Antonio Brown now is suspended for at least 2 more games, and who knows if he'll be healthy or not when he comes back. So you still have that factor going in. This team could get even better, and they're already the best offense in the league in terms of points per drive, which is my favorite stat. So still a bit of a work in progress, but I do think that this is a team that when they're playing at their best, you better watch out. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, Thanks for watching.